Save the sadness for another time. Save the words for a song that rhymes. Save the crying for the ones who've lied, who've missed all the meaning, and their souls have died. Save the doubting for the morning sun. Bringing daylight where there once was none.
I remember the first time I met Chuck Girard. I had just gotten out of the Army. Two of my buddies grabbed me and said, "Hey, you got to see this band playing in this bar in Costa Mesa." When we get there, I knew a lot of guys in the band, including Denny Carell. They were all raving about this singer-songwriter named Chuck Girard, and I'd gotten in a lot of trouble. I was kind of low, and I figured I got to get out of music, get out of trouble, and Chuck sang "Feel the Love." And that did it for me. I just went, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I can't quit music. And these guys are running after God. That's what I'm looking for too. And that led to 55 years of traveling the world together, playing in prisons and parks and amphitheaters and anywhere that God would call us.
Chuck's work with Love Song as a pioneer in contemporary Christian music has totally paved the way for so many of us to do our version of what Chuck did so beautifully over the years. An amazing man of God and a pioneer.
Yet, as the world celebrated his talents, Chuck's soul searched for deeper meaning. The spirit of the 60s swept through him like waves of change, a journey that led him beyond the stage lights through experimentation and the long hours of questioning. Amid the color and chaos of those years, Chuck found himself at a crossroads. Then, in a humble chapel in Costa Mesa, everything changed. In 1970, Chuck Girard met Jesus, igniting a faith that would transform his music, his message, and his life. I first met Chuck Girard in July of 2005 when he was a guest on my Sunday morning radio show. In reality, though, he was a part of my childhood. I loved listening to Top 40 radio as a kid. Getting to know Chuck decades later, in fact, it would be the next century before I'd actually meet him, listening to him about the things that happened to him growing up and going through music, things that he went through, was like reading a Bible story. His pursuit of God was relentless, and he was never shy the whole time I knew him about sharing what was really most important to him, and that's Jesus and the things that Jesus was about.
When I was a freshman in De Leon High School, in the middle of nowhere, Texas, I got my hands on an 8-track tape of the first Love Song project. Growing up an Assembly of God preacher's kid, I'd never heard anything like that at all. The harmonies, the writing, the unabashed passion for Jesus. It was fearless and so much fun. And it changed what I knew and felt about music at that time. It totally reshaped me, set me on a path. And I find myself on a monthly basis sitting across the table from that voice. My hero became my friend. I know we will see each other again soon enough. All of us are going to see each other. It's going to happen.
Chuck has been in my life since early 1970 at Calvary Chapel in Southern California. I absolutely know that our Father is with him, is with Chuck, holding his hand in the valley of the shadow of death. God was with me 2 years ago when I visited that place.
In 1970, Chuck Girard met Jesus, igniting a faith that would transform his music, his message, and his life.
Accept him with your whole heart and use your...
I just want to say one of the reasons I do and have done for 50 years as a musician, songwriter, is because of Chuck Girard. And these guys, Love Song. I just remember hearing the quality of the lyrics and the harmonies, and I thought, man, I want to be like that. So I'm very grateful for Chuck. His very name brings up some great musical memories in my heart and in my mind. We thank God for the impact of a man named Chuck Girard.
My first encounter of meeting Chuck Girard in Love Song, wow, 52 years ago this month, my new bride and I drove out to California from the Youngstown, Ohio area, and where I was invited to play guitar for this band that I had grown to love so much. In fact, the voices of Chuck and Tommy and Jay together were just wonderful, and it was healing to my soul, encouragement to my spirit, encouraged me in writing songs about the Lord Jesus. And I just want to say so much thank you to Chuck for his influence, one of the greatest voices, greatest influences in our time for the Lord Jesus and the gospel.
Chuck, you became part of my life in the late 70s when a group of young people from the Bronx came together to worship and to pray. I still treasure the impact your music had on me back then and how it shaped my spiritual journey. Little did I know that almost 50 years later, I'd call you my friend and that I would have the honor of creating and walking alongside you in your journey. Your gift and your spirit continue to inspire me. Farewell for now, my friend. We'll catch up again soon.
What an amazing, talented man who's had a huge impact on my life, musically and spiritually. Love you, Chuck. You're the best. Until then.
First saw Chuck playing piano and singing at the Vineyard Christian Fellowship in Tarzana, California, not knowing at the time that even the songs and the worship and the style in which we were singing was due in large part to him and folks like him in those early days. He has been faithful all these years, singing for the name above all names, as he sings in one of his songs, Jesus. The world is a more blessed place because of our dear brother, Chuck Girard.
Carol weighing in on what an inspiration Chuck Girard has been in my life, not only as a singer-songwriter, but as a friend. And I remember listening to a Love Song album right after I came to Christ in 1979. And it blew me away, and Chuck's solo music did the same.
Saw Chuck in Love Song in 1970, 6 months before I came to know Jesus. And they were doing the very, very first Christian music that I'd ever heard. And man, did it inspire me. I came to the Lord 6 months later, and it really shaped what happened with my life in terms of writing and performing with my wife. So I was inspired by you, and I still am, Chuck. Love you.
You're a pioneer, man. You were before everybody. You guys were before everybody. You started everything. Just want to tell you thank you for being you. I hope this message meets you in a good way And buddy, sooner or later, we're going to see each other again.
With a heart full of gratitude, Chuck continued his journey. His solo debut gave the world Sometimes Alleluia, a worship anthem that still echoes in churches around the globe. Through decades of songwriting, recording, and leading worship, Chuck's influence has reached artists, communities, and generations hungry for honest faith.
So listen now to a love song. Ooh, a love song. Let it take you, let it start.
Beyond the music and the movement, Chuck Girard's life tells a story of redemption, resilience, and joy.
So listen now to a love song.
Chuck, you and your contributions have made a big impact on the old CCM dudes, and you will be truly missed.